Hi, my name's Alex Mansfield. I'm studying a Bachelor of Commerce majoring in Marketing and a Bachelor of Medical Sciences majoring in Neuroscience. I'd say my favourite subjects are probably consumer behaviour and contemporary health issues. I really enjoy understanding people and what solutions we can come up with to best improve the health and well-being of everybody. So my philosophy on ethics, CSR and sustainability. So my personal opinion on the matter supports the key ideas presented in the utilitarianism theory, that the most appropriate action to take is the one that produces a favourable outcome whilst minimising harm. However, I also agree with the criticism that applying this sort of calculated approach to everyday life can be quite unrealistic and time-consuming in some situations, and therefore harnessing virtuous traits can allow us to approach decision-making with a fundamental and autonomous understanding of what we believe to be ethical, stemming from our intrinsic beliefs and habits. As an example, I work part-time at Bunnings, and whilst I can make an effort to upsell or cross-sell customers for the sake of generating a greater bottom line for our store, I instead try to offer guidance that best suits the customer's needs based on function, use type, and pricing. Now, there is also a third sort of competing ethical standpoint, which is deontology, which is a focus on duty, moral obligation, rights, motives, and intentions. Basically, what makes an action ethically acceptable is whether or not it conforms with moral standards. I do like part of this view, but I think that you can't necessarily always categorize every action into just simply right or wrong. I think they all fall onto some sort of spectrum. For example, if you follow this view, lying is always bad, but I think white lies to your kids about Christmas, for example, that's not necessarily a morally wrong thing to do. So in marketing, when implementing new strategies or campaigns, utilitarian manager should aim to produce the greatest amount of positive value or the least amount of negative value for the target audience. The very essence of consumer-centric marketing entails creating value that satisfies the consumer need. However, for consumer and essential products, the benefits and consequences of consumption can vary significantly across differing cultures and demographics. For example, sugar, yes, it has the gustatory satisfaction, it tastes good, but what about the dental and health issues? In the Western world, maybe yes, this is a positive net outcome, but what about if we extend this to the rest of the world? I believe whilst an ethical practice can offer attractive short-term gains, extending this behaviour over the longer term will exacerbate consumer distrust, drive negative word of mouth and publicity, and fail to achieve organic brand advocacy. Ethical practice, on the other hand, fosters a nurtured customer journey and a genuine focus on creating long-term positive value, resulting in improved customer loyalty and trust. So corporate social responsibility, these are practices that contribute to the overall well-being of society and or the environment. So for example, Starbucks with their ethical sourcing, they ensure a better future for farmers and support stable climate. Environmental stewardship also comes into this, which is about minimizing the environmental impact and tackling climate change and inspiring others. Community involvement involves building relationships with partners, customers, and the broader community. I strive to be conscious of CSR issues and believe such initiatives would be a great way to give back to the community, align the business purpose with its underlying values, and positively influence brand image and equity. I hope to be a part of a company that is committed to exercising CSR practices that stem from good moral values. Sustainability goes hand in hand with CSR and marketing, involving marketing initiatives that focus on meeting the needs of the current generation, whilst also preserving the resources for future ones. Yes, it can be challenging to achieve goals of profitability and sustainability, as green ventures can be expensive and resource consuming, and therefore introducing ideas piece by piece can be effective. So in terms of my future career, I think if things are unjust and they're detrimental to the wider community, I don't just want to recognize these immoral acts, but I want to take measures to actually rectify them. I understand the difficulty to speak up about certain issues, but I believe sharing my opinion on the matter and pushing for more ethical practices will boost the morale of others and strengthen the business purpose. I also want to leverage these ethical practices to develop my own character and identity beyond just marketing. Sustainable marketing endeavors must be tested before implementation to ensure loss of profitability is minimized and the campaign effectiveness is maximized. Endeavors such as rebranding, product development, partnerships, and educational material should all be introduced, but in small steps to steer the organization towards sustainable marketing without overinvestment. One thing I've learned recently is the importance of self-education. I think to properly implement these sort of things, you actually need to understand them. Marketers can start by reading research materials, joining sustainability communities, and fostering workplace discussions.